Hello, Jack Bergstrom, coach, speaker, author of the upcoming book, Mastering the Art of Business by Referral. Today I wanted to talk a bit about Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a way that I got started in so many things. I was involved for years, founded a couple clubs, president of a couple clubs, competed. But basically, Toastmasters was the start of both my coaching career and my public speaking career, and I owe them more than I could ever repay, and yet an extremely inexpensive investment in yourself. So I was fortunate enough years ago to sell a company and retire. Only lasted about 9.5 years, because it turns out if you're retired, you can spend a prodigious amount of money if you're young and in good health, and I was in both. So anyway, there's a lesson for me for my next retirement. But nonetheless, I had a great time. If I died tomorrow, which hopefully I will not, I've already had a wonderful retirement, and I'm very, very grateful. And I also know that I'm not a cheap date, so I've got a much higher number now for my next retirement. But back to Toastmasters. So I'm retired. I'm a little bored. I've, a couple years I haven't done anything at all except play. And my father had always said, if you have time sometime, find yourself at loose ends, go check out Toastmasters. It made a difference in my career, and I did. So I went to Toastmasters, public speaking, sat in the back for a few times, just watched, terrified, had never done any significant public speaking whatsoever. And finally decided, it's so challenging for me to do this, maybe I should just go ahead and do it. So I joined Toastmasters. And I started speaking, clumsily at first, terrible at first. I got better, slowly. Sometimes I'd fall back a bit, but consistently I got better. I was involved in Toastmasters probably a little over a year, and I got assignment from Toastmasters to speak for free at a local Chamber of Commerce. So I went to speak at a local Chamber of Commerce, and I just talked about some of the things I'm talking about here, Business by Referral, in front of a group of, say 50 people, local Chamber of Commerce. I made no offers, I made no pitches, I had nothing to sell. I just talked about what I had done in my previous business. At the end of the seminar, and it was really only, I spoke about 50 minutes or so, with kind of a lunch and learn. A number of people lined up afterwards to talk to me, which was great. And a gal walked up to me and said, I want to hire you as a coach. I'm like, you want to hire me as a coach? I'm not a coach. She goes, I know, but I'm convinced you could coach me and take me to the next level in my business. So I said, fantastic. Here's a way to contact me. And she goes, my coaching contract runs out in about 3 months, and I'm going to give you a call. I was like, wow, that's great. Thank you. Thought no more about it. 3 months later, I get a call from her, who I'd completely forgotten. She says, I'm ready to start coaching. Now, at this point, although I had been a trainer for Dale Carnegie and I had done a lot of things, I had no coaching credentials. I had not been trained as a coach by anybody yet, and I had not really put together any intention to have a coaching business. And she said, what do you charge? I'm like, well, what have you been paying for your previous coach? You said you're in a coaching relationship. She's like, well, I'm paying them, $200 an hour, 4 hours minimum per month, so $800 a month. I said, well, that sounds good to me. Let's start with that. And that was my very first coaching client from Toastmasters. No coaching business, not even advertising as a coach, no offer made. But because I was in front of a room, and I had some interesting information about more business, I got a client. Great client. Learned a lot from that experience. Sometime I'll talk about how I got my first speaking gig, kind of a similar kind of a way. Anyhow, hope you found that of some interest. I cannot recommend enough, if you have any desire to speak or you understand the power of being in front of a room, what that can do for your business, find a local Toastmasters club, check them out, find a good one, join it. If there isn't one, organize one. It will transform your personal and your business life for a very, very reasonable fee. Thank you. Jack Bergstrom, coach, speaker, author of the upcoming book, Mastering the Art of Business by Referral.